All right, if I had to choose just one lens to have for weddings, corporate, portraits, travel, everything, I think it would have to be this right here, the Tamron 35 to 150. And actually, now that I think about it, that's kind of what I did. I sold like 3 or 4 lenses, maybe 5, to buy this one lens. No regrets. All right, so let me give you some context. I shoot weddings on the weekends. I shoot corporate work during the week, social media content sprinkled here and there. So for weddings, that means that I need something that's gonna be great for the ceremony. So a wide shot and a tight shot, great for shooting couples, something that can perform really well in low light. For corporate work or for portraits, I need something that's sharp. And if it's gonna replace all the other primes that I had, it had to be something that was very versatile. I sold my Tamron 24mm, Sony Nifty 50, the Viltrox 85mm 1.8, my Sony 24 to 105, and the kit lens that came with the A7 IV. I sold all those lenses to buy this lens. Well, that's not entirely true. To buy this lens and the Sony 35mm G Master. That's what I'm shooting on here right now. Now you may be wondering why buy a 35mm prime and then buy this, which starts at 35. Why didn't I just get a 24 or whatever? But that's a video for another time. Today we're talking about this lens. Having a lens that can go from 35mm, which is great for an establishing shot. It's probably my favorite focal length, all the way up to 150mm, so I can use it to punch in super tight for the ceremony. I can switch to a 50mm for some great portraits. I love doing that for the couples portraits. Go into 85mm, which is another one of my favorite focal lengths. I do that a lot for details or for product shots that I'm doing when it's not a wedding day. Basically, I have all of my favorites all right on this one lens. So where that comes in clutch, especially on a busy wedding day, is I can have it balanced on my RS4 gimbal and not have to worry about taking a lens off, putting a new one on, rebalancing it. That's probably the biggest reason why I love using this lens, is because I have such crazy versatility, such a crazy focal length, such a wide range of focal lengths that I can do. And this paired with the A7 IV or the A7C2 on the DJI RS4 gimbal, it balances perfectly. And I'm able to utilize that entire range without having to change or rebalance the gimbal. That huge. Became one of my favorite combinations to use. Now, as for low light, the other amazing thing with this lens is it starts at f2. So in your beginning focal range at 35 to, I think it's 35 to 40, it's f2, then it goes to 2.2, and then it goes down to 2.8, which is still not bad. So obviously it's not as good as a prime in that case. And there are some times when in the reception, if it's not enough light or when it comes time for the dance floor, I do swap it out for a prime lens. Most of the time, shooting at a 2 to 2.8 is plenty for low light for me. So I really haven't had much of an issue at all with using this lens for receptions. That's one of the downsides that some people would say about this lens compared to a prime, is you just don't have as much range for the low light stuff. The other downside, you gotta lift some weights if you're using this lens, especially on a gimbal. This is a heavy lens. This lens is heavier than some cameras, I think. So it's a beast. It's a beast of a lens, and flying it all day on the gimbal, at the end of the day, your arms are gonna feel it, possibly your back too. So that's the downside to it. And if you're doing some traveling, this is gonna make your bag noticeably heavier. But the weight, the size, for some people, that could be the determining factor to make them pass on a lens like this. But for me, I'm totally fine with it. I can rock with this lens, and I do, all day. I use it for weddings pretty much weekly now, and there's never been a shot that I've taken with it that I was like, oh man, I really wish that lens was sharper. Everything I get, I feel like looks amazing with this lens, and just having that ability to go from wide to super tight very, very quickly, I can't even put into words how useful that's been for me. Especially because I've really started to fall in love with the compression at like 135 and 150. So a lot of times I'll start with couples portraits or solos or bride solos maybe, and I'll do a wide shot and then I'll punch in super tight. So that way I have the different options for editing, being able to have something that I can zoom in really close during the ceremony, but still have the option to zoom out and walk backwards with the couple. That's been huge. For corporate work, again, just the option of not having to rebalance the gimbal every time you change your lens or change your focal length saves time, especially on the shoots where you don't have a lot of time, because a lot of the corporate work that I do is local businesses, and we're just squeezing in a 4-hour shoot or something in the middle of their workday. They don't want to wait around to watch me rebalance the gimbal with a new lens on it. So having something that has such a big focal length, it's been huge. And also, it just allows me to experiment with something different. So many people say, all right, 24 to 70 or the 28 to 75, that's the number one lens. That's the lens you should get. That's what you need. That's what you should get. At the end of the day, everybody's gonna have that lens or a version of it. So having something that's different, so now this is my 24 to 70. So yeah, it's not as wide as a 24 millimeter is, but I can go so much closer than 70 millimeters. And then you really start seeing that compression once you get past that 70, 80 millimeter focal range. It's just a different level of compression. And that's something that you don't see in everybody's videos. So it's just something stands out a little bit compared to everybody else. And then when it comes to photos, being able to capture a wide group shot or something super tight, again, it's just the versatility of 35 to 150 is unmatched. The closest lens to this would be Sony's 50 to 150. And that one's a constant f2. It's more expensive than this, but that would be the closest thing. And I feel like me personally, I would miss having that 35. I feel like 50 might be a little bit too limiting for me anyway. But for photos, again, there hasn't been one photo that I've taken with it that I was like, oh, I really wish that was a sharper lens. Chromatic aberration is next to nothing. Sharpness looks great. And at the end of the day, most of these pictures that the clients are getting, they're for them to post on social media, so they're not gonna be pixel peeping nearly as much as somebody like me and you would be. I've had this lens for a couple of months now, maybe 3 or 4 months, and it's one of the best investments that I've made towards my career as a photographer and videographer. It's something that I rarely, if ever, go on a job and not pack in my bag. It's that important to my workflow. Definitely something that I highly recommend. I know this wasn't like a full-on review as much as me just saying I freaking love this thing. Links to everything down below. If you could help a small channel out and use an affiliate link next time you buy something, that would be hugely appreciated. So thank you. Subscribe for more. Let me know what else you'd like to see.